At just 23 years old, Julia Butterfly Hill climbed 180 feet into a 1,000-year-old redwood tree. She expected to remain there for only a short protest. Instead, she stayed above the ground for 738 consecutive days. Through violent storms, freezing nights, helicopter intimidation, and complete isolation, she refused to leave. Her reason was simple. The moment she came down, the ancient tree could be cut down. This happened in Northern California in 1997. Pacific Lumber was cutting old-growth redwoods in Humboldt County, and one of the threatened trees was a massive coast redwood known as Luna. The tree stood around 200 feet tall and was believed to be at least 1,000 years old. To the logging company, it was valuable timber. To Julia, it was a living piece of history that could never be replaced. Environmental activists had already been using tree sits to delay logging. Volunteers would climb into threatened trees and remain there for several days before someone replaced them. On December 10th, 1997, Julia climbed Luna and reached a small platform nearly 180 feet above the forest floor. She had no idea that this platform would become her home for more than 2 years. There was no bedroom, kitchen, or bathroom. Julia lived on 2 tiny platforms, each only about 6 feet wide. She slept inside a sleeping bag and cooked simple meals with a small propane stove. A support team brought food, water, and other essential supplies, which she pulled into the tree using ropes. She also used a solar-powered phone to give interviews and keep the outside world focused on her protest. But surviving at that height was extremely dangerous. Julia endured freezing rain, powerful winds, and the brutal El Niño storms. In her account, she described one storm that battered Luna with winds reaching around 70 miles per hour for approximately 16 hours. The protective tarps around her platform were torn apart. With the tree swaying in the darkness, one mistake could have sent her falling hundreds of feet. The weather was not the only pressure she faced. Pacific Lumber helicopters reportedly flew close enough for their powerful rotor wash to shake her platform and prevent her from sleeping. Company security guards also surrounded the area during a 10-day blockade, making it difficult for supporters to deliver supplies. Loggers continued cutting nearby trees, forcing Julia to listen as ancient redwoods crashed to the ground around her. Instead of ending the protest, the pressure brought it worldwide attention. Julia gave interviews from the treetop, while supporters and environmental organizations spread her story. What had started as one woman occupying one tree became an international campaign. Every additional day increased public attention and placed more pressure on Pacific Lumber to negotiate. Finally, an agreement was reached. Pacific Lumber promised to protect Luna permanently, along with the trees inside a 200-foot buffer surrounding it. Julia and her supporters raised $50,000 as part of the settlement. That money was then donated to Humboldt State University for research into sustainable forestry. On December 18th, 1999, Julia began climbing down. After 738 days, her feet finally touched the ground again. She had entered Luna as an unknown 23-year-old volunteer. She returned to the ground at 25 as one of the most recognizable environmental activists in the world. But Luna's fight was not over. Less than a year later, an unknown attacker used a chainsaw to cut deeply into the tree's trunk. The wound reached roughly 32 inches into Luna and extended almost halfway around its base. Experts feared the next major storm could bring the weakened tree down. Arborists and volunteers treated the wound and installed steel cables to stabilize the trunk. Against the predictions, Luna survived, and the ancient redwood remains protected and monitored today. Julia Butterfly Hill did not save every redwood in California,